Hello, this is Carolyn again. We're waiting for the VA to come and get us, and they confirmed this time that they are coming to get us. Um, about that video that I made yesterday, the one that I was in the semi-darkness, that was not intended for mood or, any foreshadowing or anything like that. Um, we have had continuous problems with hackers, scammers, and because I read a lot of spirituality-based materials, it must be something that I'm doing to draw these people in. Yeah, this particular gentleman I've probably known since about 2014. Um, I think he was separated, and then he is now either remarried or he is definitely married, and he's probably 80 years old. I know, it seems like people never get tired. I think what he was attempting to do with me was a little bit of one-upsmanship. It could be a couple of things. My husband was in Mensa, so he could have been showing me that he's smarter than my husband. Hey, I'm grasping here. If you have a better solution or one that you think is more transparent, please let me know. Usually the most obvious ones are the correct ones. Or I mentioned that I took a hacking and cracking class because it is something that I, as a hobby, like to entertain. Hey, if you don't know how they do it, you don't quite know how to stop them. I found that to be absolutely true. If you end up knowing what they're doing when they're asking you leading questions, which probably if you get somebody on the phone or in an email and they're asking you any questions, if you don't recognize who they are, even if you think you recognize who they are, because do you know they can get an email similar to PayPal's just by capitalizing or putting a comma somewhere else? It can look exactly like the people from PayPal or Microsoft or what is it, the computer nerds. All they do is insert a dot somewhere that is a little different than the original. So you can't always believe your eyes. But to reel the topic back in, because you know I go on these rambles, I think what he was trying to do is to show me that he is smarter than I am. And no doubt, there was no competition. I was not stating anything otherwise. But because I don't really know, I did not say to him, can you expose vulnerabilities on my website? Because I already knew there were vulnerabilities. Most people have those, they just don't know about it, and you have to fit when people are trying to sell you a website, they don't often tell you all of the extra things you have to have it to be secure. I was already aware of that, but he had told me that he was trying to get in, or he got into my website to try to change the keywords, and then he wanted to get in for another reason to correct the spelling errors. Again, I already knew there were spelling errors. I was the one that pointed it out to him, I think, because I'm dealing with people from other countries. And so I don't know if English is not their first language. You gotta give people a little bit of slack. It isn't going to be perfect. I'm paying less than what I would have paid an American person to do it. So yes, there may be some things I'm going to have to go back and change. I told him this, but he was flexing on me, letting me know that he can expose all kinds of vulnerabilities, and he can, crack into my Venmo account and see that I'm paying money to these people and this person. If that was all he ever did, I would think he's a good friend just trying to expose vulnerabilities that I could potentially have as a problem. I would say, I appreciate you. But the same man has looked up my entire family to find out such things as my age. He sent me something to do with my father. He had the wrong name of my youngest daughter. But why are you looking at my freaking children? Why are you I did not hire you to do any of this stuff, nor did I ask for your help. So I don't know if you're flexing, if you're trying to scare me, and I'm leaving out the biggest one for last. As you guys already know, if you saw the In the Dark thing that I was doing yesterday, he alluded to the fact at one time, when I was looking for a business partner, he said, Why don't we do a thing where we pretend that we are kidnapping people? Okay, he's on some pretty strong pain medication. I'm not making excuses, truthfully. Once he said that, my little tiny brain, like, it froze up. I was like, oh, I probably am not going to hear another freaking thing you say for the rest of the day, dude. So you can continue talking to me. And I know your lips are moving, but my mind's going back to what you just said, all right? um, I guess it's some sort of fantasy, but since he said that, and he has been hacking and cracking and following and investigating, he gave it a rest for a long time, and I think that's about the time that he got remarried. I saw a picture from him in 2020 with his wife there at the zoo, and he was walking, and as far as I know, he had a wheelchair. I'm not on here to tell other people's secrets. I don't really care what he does. I don't care about his fantasies, and he's also a witch practitioner. Um, they don't call them warlocks. They call them witches in paganism. And yeah, already told you guys I know something about that. I study everything. I have an only child, and you didn't even have to get on Ancestry.com to look that up. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a freebie. I've spent a lot of time alone. I research a lot of topics. Doesn't mean I wrap my head around it and want to be involved. I just like to know what's out there. But that's what that was all about. A guy hacking and cracking. Do I think he's probably harmless? I hope so. But I did tell my husband, and the company that I was kind of volunteering help with, it's a security company. If he kind of picked the wrong bear to poke a little bit. I mean, not only do I have anxiety and I'm often armed, I am affiliated with policemen and stuff like that. Not that I think they're perfect either. Don't get me going on that one. They're not. They're human beings. They come to their preconceived notions about people, and I guess we all do. Anyway, before this thing tells me that I'm out of time or a phone call comes in and cuts me off, that's what that was all about. I don't think this guy is a bad person. If for some reason or other I must